Jonesboro's going through the same thing right now, and they tabled it last week. They just had a discussion as to whether the property maintenance extends inside and outside, or just outside. So what they have adopted the same international property maintenance code as we have in Kennett. So that in and of itself,
It does
tells
allow
us what we
inside
should-
inspection.
yeah, it tells you what you should do, so.
Question.
Yes.
The tenants that are currently living in those homes, are they made aware of when this is going to happen to allow?
Yes, they will. If this is adopted, we still got some planning to do, but as many as there is, rent houses as there are, we would have to divide it into wards. So if there's 5 wards, 2 months per ward, and do a ward at a time. And it would be, there would be an application to fill out to have it inspected, and it would be the responsibility of the landowner to make that arrangement with the tenant to have it inspected.
Just a lot of it has to do with pets, and just making sure that it's,
Yes.
that you can be there if you need to.
Yes.
Do we have the personnel to do this, number one? And number two, is it a revenue neutral? What's it gonna be? Is it gonna be at $20 an inspection or 10 a reinspection? I can't picture it being revenue neutral.
If we have to add more or overtime hours, that money would cover supposedly that cost.
Do we have a number on how many rental houses we have now in Kennett?
Rough estimate was 2,000.
About 78% of the houses in Kennett are rental houses, 78%.
Thank you.
Any other questions from Ms. Moon? Mr. McRae?
First reading, an ordinance adopting the International Property Maintenance Code and the International Existing Building Code and establishing the requirement for occupancy inspections and permits for rental dwellings in the city of Kennett. No, just voice vote.
So moved.
A motion, second?
Second.
A second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
One dissent, okay, motion carries.
Second reading.
That's just the first one.
All you're approving is the reading itself. It's not an approval of the ordinance.
Okay, it's just approval of the reading.
That's just an
Right.
approval of
Thank
the
you.
reading
Yeah.
itself. Second reading.
Me too.
An ordinance adopting the International Property Maintenance Code and the International Existing Building Code and establishing the requirement for occupancy inspections and permits for rental dwellings in the city of Kennett.
Second reading, have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second.
Now discussion.
Okay, discussion? I want to make comment?
I view my job as the city councilman, one of the city councilmen for Ward 5, as to represent my constituents. And I have yet to have a constituent tell me they wanted to do this. I have had many people tell me they did not want to do this, and I don't view this as, it makes no difference what my personal preference is on this. My job is to carry out the wishes of the citizens of my ward. And since I have not had anyone tell me they wanted this, I cannot see going forward with this. I do have a suggestion for a kind of a test run with this. I would like to see if we could possibly put this on the city website and allow, in some manner, allow this to be another way for it to signal an inspection if there's a problem. I like being able to provide these inspections if there's a problem in any manner. So if we could get it hooked to the website to where it would be easier for a citizen to file something like this. I think that would be a beginning on it anyway.
I second what Mr. Palmer said. I've had about 25 phone calls and people contacted me. If it's been instant, and not having one person contact me, it's been quick.
I call that the silent majority.
I mean, I can't, I'm not a mind reader. I've got to go by what people want me to do.
Just like right here. If I had not made the motion, would anybody on this council made the motion?
Well, see, that's the thing. I mean,
See, I mean, because I made the motion, all these landlords right out here see me as whatever you wanna call me. But I only made the motion to get it on the table for discussion.
I'm the same as Mr. Palmer and Mr. Weatherwax. Out of all the people who have called me about this issue, I've only had one that was very much for it, and another that was somewhat for it. But the rest have been all
I mean, first looking at these guys out here, they have a vested interest in not doing it, obviously, because it's probably gonna cost them money.
It's a very small percentage of the population of the city of Kennett who is asking this to not do this. So we have to weigh out what's the best thing for the city of Kennett.
Well, from a health and welfare point of view, it's pretty obvious what's the best thing for Kennett is. We need to improve it a whole lot, the way I see it. And then if you look at the opening line of this ordinance, or the section on it, the purpose of this ordinance is to protect the public health, safety, and general welfare of the people of the city in all residential dwellings.
But didn't Victor just tell us that we already have a procedure in effect to do that?
We do.
Okay. Then why muddy the waters? I just think that this just opens a can of worms that there's no fix for it. It's so immense, the amount of work that there is involved in this thing, that I just don't see us being able to do it and do justice to it. And I'd rather not do it than do it badly.
There's a lot of merit in that statement, too.
I do understand the intent of it, and I like the intent of it, but I just cannot, I see so many things working against landlords. I see the, length of time that it takes to get the tenant out if they fail to pay their rent. I see the losses if the damage is done. I see all the things that work to prevent or to cause problems, but I don't see very much positive that we as a state or as a community have been able to do. And I think that's why I suggested that about the website, to make it more easily available to follow up on, more easily available to file a complaint, but we do have a method in place right now.
The sad thing, the saddest thing about this to me is that we have landlords that put substandard housing out there and are willing to rent it, knowing that it's a danger to the people that rent it. That's a shame. And if you're doing that, you ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
again, I agree with just about everything you said, Wardlow, except for the ones that are here tonight are trying to do right. Most of them are trying to do right. We are making them pay for the indiscretion of the ones that aren't. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair to the landlords. We got a lot of them that have more than just one house and one inspection on the bottom. So we have some that have 100 units. I mean, that's a burden. And it's already hard enough to collect rent as it is. And so we're adding another fee to them. We're not giving the landlord anything. We're making it harder for them to do business. And we have a complaint process already in place. The tenants can call you or the landlord can call you when there's a problem. I think maybe we need to figure out some way to promote that instead of making it harder on the landlord to read.
I know it takes a long time to depreciate rental property. 27 and a half years to be exact. And I don't know any heat and air units that will last 27 and a half years for these guys. I don't have one at my home that will last that long. If I did, I'd go buy one tomorrow. But 27 and a half years have been expecting these guys to, or these folks, not only guys, to add something else. You know, we need something, I agree, we do need something, and I think we're all in agreement for that. But the people that's called me in my ward and other people that has rental property in my ward, I can't go for it.
Any other comments from the council? I'm not a voting member of this, so, but I'm gonna express an opinion here. It's a great disappointment to me, and I received numerous contacts and phone calls from citizens in Kennett, basically opposed to it. Not one single person offered a better solution. They don't like this solution, but it sure didn't step up in any way to resolve the problems that we're experiencing. And we fortunately have gotten through the hot part of the year without having to drag some bodies out of some of these properties, that a bulldozer is the best thing that can happen to them. If we're gonna do anything for Kennett and move it forward, we're gonna have to step up to the plate at some point in time. We can talk about it forever, and I said at the last meeting, excuse me, we're gonna bring this to a vote tonight. We're either gonna pass it or we're gonna bury it. I don't intend to sit here for the next 6 months and talk about rental inspections. So with that said, you know my viewpoint. Roll call. Roll call vote.
Nay.
Nay.
No.
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 Yes.
I'm not in a position to vote because I was out of town. I didn't have a chance to talk to a lot of people, but,
You elected.
go ahead.
You elected.
I'll go with no.
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 Ordinance fails to pass.
Thank you, everybody, for that, Mr. Weaver.
You're welcome.
I don't really have anything else to bring from the mayor's chair tonight. Let me go for public comments, if anyone would like to address the council. If not, I have a motion to go into closed session.
I had a constituent call and ask about where our ambulance tax goes. And I don't know anything.
Goes to ambulance.
Ambulance
To the district.
And the ambulance district, who then contracts with Medic One.
Okay. Thank you.
Motion to go into closed session.
Motion.
Second. Okay.
Voice vote.
Yes.
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 We have about a 5-minute recess.
You turkey.